People began to doubt Hopkins after a minister was executed.
He made a lot of money from witch hunting.
Hopkins was hugely successful in his witch hunting methods. In fact, he kept notes while working and in 1647 published a book about his practices, The Discovery of Witches. Between 1644 and 1646, it is estimated that Hopkins was responsible for the deaths of at least 300 accused witches, mostly women. While Hopkins and his assistants practiced much of their witch hunting in the area of East Anglia, they realized that they could make much more money by traveling and charging around 20 shillings/pounds per town, plus traveling expenses. This amount was much more than he was ever able to make as a lawyer, and most agree the finances were the motivations for his actions.
His favorite method of determining a witch was with the swimming test.
The swimming test was another method that Hopkins used, also borrowed from the Book of Demonology. In the book, it explains that witches floating in the water proved their guilt. The book explains that, because water is so pure, its purity would repel a witch. During the test, the suspect would be bound with a rope tied around their arms and legs, and sometimes tied to a chair. The result was usually death. If the suspect floated in the water, they were hanged. If the suspect sank, they often drowned to death.
His first method of determining a witch was witch picking.
The methods in which Hopkins used to determine if one was a witch were borrowed ideas from demonology by King James I of England. The book is primarily a study on demonology and necromancy. It was from the Book of Demonology that Hopkins borrowed the idea of witch picking. Hopkins would often strip the accused witch and force them to shave their body completely. Then, he would look for anything on the body considered unnatural. This could be a freckle or mole, a sore, a birthmark, anything that they would consider the devil's mark or the witch's mark. Once a mark was discovered on a witch, and let's face it, most people have a mole, freckle, or birthmark somewhere on their body, Hopkins would proceed to cut or prick the spot on the body using needles or a knife. If the place did not bleed, they believed that was evidence that the suspect was a witch. Hopkins was not above using blunt knives or even knives with retractable blades that would surely make a person not bleed. By this time, he was making what was considered to be excellent money for hunting witches, and he was not about to let anything get in the way of his paycheck.
The first victim, Elizabeth Clarke.
80-year-old Elizabeth Clarke of Essex, England, was Hopkins's first victim of accused witchcraft. A local tailor by the name of John Rivet was the first to accuse Clarke of being a witch, and rumors throughout the town soon followed. Clarke, a one-legged widow, had lived in the town her entire life and was known by all of the residents. Interestingly enough, Clarke's own mother was accused of being a witch and was hanged sometime before. The gossip of Clarke eventually reached Hopkins, who immediately started his interrogation on her. After 4 days and nights of torture, Hopkins finally got a confession from the elderly Clarke, but he wasn't satisfied with just an admission of guilt from her. He also forced her to name other witches in the town. Clarke complied, which led to the arrest of an additional 5 suspects. During trial, Hopkins gave the following statement regarding Clarke. The said Elizabeth forthwith told this informant and one Master Stearn, there present, if they would stay and do the said Elizabeth no hurt. But this informant told her they would not allow it. And they staying there a while longer, The said Elizabeth confessed she had carnal copulation with the devil 6 or 7 years, and he would appear to her 3 or 4 times a week at her bedside, and go to bed with her and lie with her half a night together, in the shape of a proper gentleman, with a laced band, having the whole proportion of a man. And he would say to her, "Bessie, I must lie with thee." And she never did deny him. Due to Clarke's forced confession, she was found guilty and hanged in 1645.
He tortured suspects into confessing.
He tortured suspects into confessing.
He became the Witchfinder General.
He became the Witchfinder General.
Who was Matthew Hopkins?
The early life of Matthew Hopkins is almost a complete mystery up until his witch hunting began. Hopkins was born around 1620 near a small village in Essex, England. His family was reportedly well off and respected by citizens. His father, James Hopkins, was a clergyman of the Church of England. Matthew was one of 6 children, which we know only from his father's last will and testament. No birth or school records have ever been found relating to Matthew. We do know he had some form of education due to his handwriting skills and the fact that he was a lawyer before becoming a witch hunter.
Hey guys, thank you so much for the support and likes and comments down below, and also thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to see you in the next video. Then take care, bye.